Hello, I fucked up. Give me a second. Take two. Hello, welcome to day 745 of eating a sheet of paper a day. Score of the day first. I've been forgetting that recently, and don't worry, I haven't forgotten the score, and most of all, I haven't forgotten about all of you. Hello, nice to see you, and it's nice of you to see me. We're thinking a 8 point. Fuck that. No. It's too generous. 7.9. There we go. Sorry if it seems like I downgraded my day one whole point, but I just don't know what my day is until I really think about it. And I started typing halfway through my thought process. It wasn't finished yet. Well, got an itch in the back of my head, some paper on the front of my face, and a big mouth in the middle to eat the paper with. Caden coming out straight out of the gate with some honesty. 8.2. It's very good. Again, we're thinking of 5 as our average, which it seems like I've abandoned. And I have actually no response to that. I have abandoned it. I need to actually completely readjust my scores. Readjusted, let's actually go for a second draft. And we're going to mark that this is the correct version by typing an asterisk, actually. So my real score for the day, get ready for this, all right? And plug your finger in your ass so you don't shart from surprise. It's a nice 5.6. Yeah, there we go. Didn't make sure I didn't mistype it. There we go. 5.6, which is pretty good. Again, a little above average. Just I have a sore throat and I rewatched Synecdoche, New York for I think the 8th time, which is great. Caden, this would connect to you, not only because the main character's name is Caden, but also because it's a really great movie about producing and not like literally producing as in what Blumhouse does, that son of a bitch. But I'm saying producing as in creating work, creating things of your own, which I feel is something that you've wanted to do. And I'm recommending this to you because you liked Beau is Afraid so much. I don't know if you've seen this. Let me see. No, it's on your want to watch list. It's incredibly good. It's a lot shorter. It's 124 minutes, which is pretty manageable. I believe 2 hours and 4 minutes, a lot shorter, and has a lot better of a flow than Beau is Afraid. Again, sorry if I offended you. Or anybody who likes Beau is Afraid, which is me too. You know, I offend myself sometimes, but it's a very good movie. It's probably one of the greatest movies of all time, actually, in my opinion. Lots of stuff to talk about, lots of stuff to look at. It is the depression movie, as is Beau is Afraid is the anxiety movie. So, warned. Just take your medicine before you watch this one. It's been on your watch list. I know, right? I know there's a bottom and a top to your watch list. Put that shit at the top. It's one of the greatest movies ever. What was good about it? Well, it's one of those movies that you can watch repeatedly. I think I've seen it no less than 17 times at this point, and it gets better every single time I watch it. And not just that, the experience is different. You can change your focus to something else. It's kind of like that whole Playtime movie, right? Jacques Tati, except in terms of actual scope, what the colonoscopy camera is actually looking at. There's so many cavities to look into. Synecdoche, New York, yes, it has a foreground and a background, unlike Playtime, but there are so many different things and themes to think about, and also lots of actual literal details in the frame. I'll just say if you want to come out of a movie feeling better than when you came in, this is not the movie for you. However, I think it's a long-term type deal because the craftsmanship of this movie is so just off the wall. It's actually insane to the point where I don't think you'll care. I think you'll actually end up appreciating it, which yeah, it'll make your day better. Just in another way, it'll make your day worse. Oh, what was good about Beau is Afraid? Well, because it's fucking awesome, thing one. And two, because I think it really represents my sister's life. She's way too anxious. She needs to calm the fuck down. And also, in a way, it represents all of us. Beau is all of you. The real Beau is the friends we made along the way. But I think Synecdoche, New York is a lot more relatable. It is about a neurotic guy who creates all his own problems. But there's something about the way it's written in the way Philip Seymour Hoffman channels this like midlife crisis guy. And I believe all of us, especially us, late teens, early 20s type gentlemen, we feel like we're entering a midlife crisis at an early age. Feels like we're already kind of just these constantly tired, exhausted, awkward, fat fart fucks wandering around, waiting for the next terrible thing to happen to us. I mean, that's what Philip Seymour Hoffman does, and he does such a great job. It's almost like he's like that in real life. Maybe he was. I never knew the guy, but he did die of a drug overdose. Apparently, he was a miserable guy. So you get to see the real man behind the fake plastered face in this movie. It's great. What else was he in? He played the nervous guy in Big Lebowski. That's probably one of the greatest scenes. Oh, actually, fun fact. I don't know if I am so dementia riddled that I forgot to say this, or if I said this and I forgot that I said it. But there was a lady who is the sister of one of my managers at Cinepolis, and she told me this supposed tall tale that she was one of the kids in the Big Lebowski who was in the Big Lebowski ethnic urban children grant, that whole thing, and she was the slightly pudgy kid right next to Lebowski himself. And I asked her, and I actually looked it up, and I made sure to track her name, Haley Mindrus, and oh, I'll be blowed, it was her. Same name, corresponded, same lady. It's very blurry, you can't see it, but Haley herself backed up the claim. So unless they doctored the actual footage from the credits of the movie, or she's mentally insane and somehow was also simultaneously smart enough to fool me, I'm not fooled. I know she was in that movie. So technically, I work alongside the husband. Not. I fucked up. I misspoke. It's not his sister, his wife, for fuck's sake. My manager's wife. But yeah, the husband. No. I work alongside the husband of a Big Lebowski star. Thank you very much. That's right. There we go. That was my convoluted way of claiming fame right here on day 745 of eating a sheet of paper a day. Everybody in the industry, take notes. Big Lebowski was amazing. Couldn't make it through Bo. Well, to your loss, the ending is really good. If you ever had an argument with your mom or ever got grounded by any parent at all, it's relatable. Feels like getting grounded. And get extra excited because I'll tell you this. He goes below ground, and I'm not going to give you any more spoilers from the movie. I know Caden liked it. Today is a very unusual day because I have a very sore throat. So if I wince with pain every single time I gulp one of these down, wait, don't worry. It's not your fault. It's the paper and my fault because I'm choosing to do this. And two, it'll go away with time. So just know I'm not slowly killing myself in any way other than simply eating paper. The sore throat changes nothing except things on the external. What is your opinion on Lahain? Anybody watch that one? We have a big list of 16 movies I've never seen ever in my life. Everybody's recommending to me House. I did this before, by the way, but I replaced a movie with the Muppet movie, which for some reason has a 4.0. Apparently good, allegedly. We're gonna see if these claims are backed up with proof and evidence. God damn it. Nashville. I'm really picking these based off the posters and the posters alone. Like, come on, who's not gonna watch a movie with that on it? 8.5. Yeah, you said it was a slog, Caden, but look at this poster. No false advertising right there. It is the number, and there it is. What is this guy doing? He's wearing a top hat. Yeah, you're right. This movie's gonna be boring as fuck. It looks kind of cool though. Reading the summary, it certainly does not convince me to watch this movie. Guido Anselmi, which is a really funny name, a film director, finds himself creatively barren at the peak of his career. Urged by his doctors to rest, Anselmi heads for a luxurious resort, but a sorry group gathers. His producer, wife, actor's wife, or no, excuse me, his producer, his two wives, yes. His producer, wife, actor's wife, mistress, and wife, and also relatives, each one begging him to get on with the show. That sounds so fucking boring, guys. In a retreat from their dependency, he fantasizes about past women and dreams of his childhood. The last thing I would ever care about looking at. Past women and dreams of his childhood. I'm sure it's done really well, right? I mean, every favorite TV show or movie that I like is a really great masterclass in taking like the worst concept and wearing it on your sleeve with pride, right? It's had like having the worst, what the kids today would call drip, and then wearing it on your body, having like the worst clothing items that you got like at Goodwill for $3 each, wearing it on yourself like it's the coolest shit ever, and it makes it the coolest shit ever, right? In the words of he who shall not be named, the Voldemort of music, I could stand there with a Speedo and be looked at like a fucking hero or something like that. I think he said something along that line. The conversation, people said this was good. People said it wasn't as well crafted as his other stuff, but I mean, Francis Ford Coppola went on to make such epic bangers like Jack, this movie featuring Robin Williams as in like a small fat suit as like a small child. What's the concept for this movie? Jack Powell suffers from an affliction that makes him grow 4 times faster than normal. And that got a 2.7. So and what everybody's thesis was when they review bombed this movie in 2007, right? Just because Francis Ford Coppola directed The Godfather, he thinks he can get away with anything. Not this time, Francis. We're not letting you get away with it this time. Jesus Christ, they're pissed off. So apparently he fell off so insanely hard. There's a lot of directors where it kind of flies over the handle and kind of under my radar. I never hear about Francis Ford Coppola's bad movies. I just hear my dad ranting about, oh my God, it's this one. And oh my God, it's that one, right? You know, just all the stuff that gets pinned at the top. But sometimes if you got somebody with no talent, I'm sure somebody at a label is going to fuck up and only see the achievements because the stuff that wasn't good gets swept under the rug. This might seem silly, but like it's an actual thing that I think happens. People don't realize that because positive things get exposure, you don't realize that someone's fallen off the deep end until you hire them to make the second Avatar movie, and they make it even more abysmal. How is Lahain compared to Requiem for a Dream? Lahain's really good. Okay. These are like Chat GPT descriptions. Really good. What does really good mean? Like name one actual adjective about it. Like say it's anxiety inducing, right? That's Bo. You could say that, right? Instead of I like Bo, do like Bo was, I don't know, made my cock shoot upwards at a 180-degree angle. Something like that, you know. I mean, you can just do 2 words or something like that. But I mean, okay, it says Lahain's is an enjoyable film. We're getting closer. Baby steps. Feet-eye steps, all right? Fetal steps towards our goal. This is like millimeter wide steps, but it's fine. I can just look at non-spoiler reviews. Fellas, is it gay to tell your homeboy you can recognize his farts? I'm sold on the movie. I got to watch it now. So that's going to be first on the list. I'll give you reports back next time on how it was. We're going to have to pay money to rent it, but that's okay. I can deal with that. Have I used GPT personally? No. Actually, today in our film studies class, the lady, she's a little insane, actually, Mrs. M. For fuck's sake. She flies off the handle, and ever since the semester started, the class has been getting more and more barren because, I mean, with every college class, you get kids who drop out. But with this class in particular, we started with a full room and even a couple of extra Mexican guys who just didn't get their own seats and they just had to awkwardly hang around in the back and, I don't know, exchange cigars and tacos and shit. But now every seat, like out of all 3, or no, for every 3 seats, 2 of them are gone. Like 2 of them have no people in them. And it's this progression, like she's just getting more and more pissed off this semester. And you'd think that she would do this with every class, but apparently this is the one semester where she's just slowly snapping. I don't know what it is about this semester that made her snap, but apparently just the kids are being extra belligerent. And hey, not me, man. I've been very passionately talking about why I don't like Get Out. And I mean, she didn't like my opinion of it because I mean, she showed it because she 100% read every Wall Street Journal article about how it was a work of genius or something like that. And, she made a big, hairy deal about the fact that I gave actual answers to her questions, but I also gave my opinion. And even though she asked for my opinion, she literally specified in the assignment, I'm asking for your opinion. Whatever. I digress. Enough about Black people. The actual crux of this class is just her getting more and more deranged. And she plays us whole movies. We watched Thelma and Louise today, which I've already seen. But every movie we see right before the movie gets shown, she spends like 20 minutes just berating us. It can be about any variety of subjects. It's normally just one per class. One class where she berated us about when one of their kids or one of the students brought a therapy dog into class, and the therapy dog, I guess, was just breathing too loud during the movie. It was insane. Oh man, she was extra unlikable. She was like a fucking Disney villain that day. But there was another day today, for example. She was ranting about ChatGPT on how there is apparently AI scanners that scan a paragraph of words to see if ChatGPT made it, and apparently it detects it with 100% success, which is bullshit, by the way. What ChatGPT does is it takes every single pre-existing combination of words and creates a generic average of all of them put together, the median, you could say. So I don't understand how you can take a combination of words. I don't give a fuck if it's like a specific 100 word combination. You can't just pin that to AI. Like you can say you can make a clever guess that because maybe someone's essay on a movie has details on the movie that don't match up. Like I don't believe that Miramar students are that stupid. By the way, I'm in 2 colleges in case you want to know. Mesa, now Miramar, don't worry. I'm not flip-flopping. I'm just doing 2 things at once. But the Miramar students, they're not stupid. They, I feel like they're better than, I don't know, giving it a quick once over, just a proofread, just to make sure that the details correspond. But I guess one of the more illiterate students didn't do that, and we got rewarded with a big 20-minute rant. She was like throwing papers around, screaming at us. Fun times. Actually, it's very entertaining. For me, I'm in the back of the room and I don't use ChatGPT. To answer your question, no. So I feel like some of the movies she shows us are so bad. I mean, legitimately, the day that we saw Get Out, her rant about how much she hates therapy dogs and how the therapy dog was breathing too loud during the movie was more entertaining than the whole movie. So I make sure to always show up on time to make sure I don't miss the best part of the class. He makes horrible jokes, then gets mad at us for not laughing. Please transfer me into your class. I'd love to switch places, honestly. I'm tired of watching Get Out. I would rather listen to someone's really bad jokes. I mean, hey, listen, does your film teacher actually show you any movies, or does he just like play those weird Pixar short films? I was using it earlier. It's pretty consistent in his responses. Right, but don't you think that in a situation where, say, you could quote a book, you have probably millions of, possibly billions of books out there. And with so many potential word combinations that could be combined in so many millions upon billions of fucking paragraphs, you're telling me that it's impossible for ChatGPT to spit out something that could be indistinguishable from something. Now, obviously, I'm not advocating for AI. I'm also not denouncing it. However, I'm acknowledging the fact that the literal words that are printed on a screen could be identical in every single way to a book that, say, has a relatively generic, or say if you pick a subject, describe I don't know, describe a daisy or something, describe like the anatomy of a daisy flower or a tulip or something, right? And if you had ChatGPT kind of run through a good 250 possible combinations of words, you could probably get something, not only maybe a paraphrasing, but also, and not just that, if you're saying that you can 100% with no error detect when AI 100% has created something, then how in the world would you know? Because when you think of a way to paraphrase a certain paragraph or a sentence, there are only so many ways to combine it to describe the, I don't know, the biology of a tulip, right? So I don't believe that there is really a way to detect just from seeing the words alone, unless like ChatGPT seriously fucks up or somebody doesn't proofread the submission and make sure the details add all up. Like, I don't think that exists. That can't exist. It can't feasibly exist. You can't just from copy and pasted words in Arial font, right? Unless the actual text itself contains digital watermarks of the source it came from. Maybe, but there is no way on God's green ass that is something that any algorithm can detect, let alone something that I think even exists. Because if it did, and it could actually be detected through a random piece of software that a teacher, as technically illiterate as Mrs. M, can download. Like, she doesn't know anything. I had to literally dude, let me actually show you this picture. She had me log in on my account. And because she couldn't log into her own, which I'm sure that's just because bureaucracy sucks and teachers just have a harder time signing in. I'm sure it's not her fault, but as a result of that, everybody saw my account picture, and a couple of my classmates were trying to take it seriously, but it wasn't working because they kept seeing my stupid profile picture, which is just the pill clip art giving the smiley face with the thumbs up, and they couldn't deal with it. So sorry, Miss M, kind of fucked the whole thing up for you, but AI cheating detection softwares are dog shit. Yeah, and with any AI generated thing, I feel like we gotta do it like Shutterstock, except you can't pay for a premium version, right? If you don't know what I mean by saying that. What I mean is we need to have AI detection software that will simply look at the surface and also I'm describing this terribly. Let me rephrase. Rewind. All right, so I think that what should happen is we should redesign the AI creation software. There you go. I got it right. I didn't fuck it up this time. To put some sort of digital, irremovable digital watermark, be it on the surface, like it can literally just be an irremovable physical or visual watermark, or it can be something in the code that can be checked. Like if you right click info and it'll say something, that'll give you a clue. I think we can do that. I think that's a thing they can do. And I feel like that should be a thing where it's legislated that they do that, because I don't think people are scared of the AI art existing. They're scared of AI art assimilating itself into art created by people to the part where, yes, the goal is to make AI art indistinguishable from our art. That is kind of what the programmers are trying to do when they're patching and updating every website every like 2 months or so. So I know, Sniffy. I know. I walked you already. Calm down. You took like a 3 pebbles worth of constipation out of your ass. And I'm telling you, when I walk him, he goes for like I think we walk for like a mile there, a mile back. He barely goes. But like they haven't caught me yet. Yeah, it's because you proofread. I mean, there's tons of kids who don't proofread, and then Miss M thinks that she's clever, and she thinks that the actual software is clever. And again, if you're somehow tech savvy enough to watch this somehow, which is impossible, but on the off chance, the 0.1% chance you are, this is nothing against you. I'm just saying that you're in the wrong generation, Miss M. You should have been born in the 1890s. Then you would have lived in a proper era. You'd totally be in the newspapers. I feel like you're a newspaper lady. But I just think that that's doable. It's and this issue is very solvable. If we just get a digital watermark in the code of the image, just inspect element, big wall of text. It's mostly just a bunch of randomized numbers and letters that just determine what image it is. It's the URL code, right? And it's always just a random combination of letters and numbers. Put in there a consistent line of characters that would never show up in a normal URL, which those exist, believe it or not. It should be a government legislated thing. Every technology. Now, I'm sure people will get these weird Chinese bootleg versions of AI software and make their own. However, that's inevitable. It'll happen anyways. I feel like, and when they get caught, they can actually be punished for it. It'll be, a lack of incentive. And like, honestly, if you can create AI generated stuff and not assimilate, with it, like what is the actual incentive for a criminal to use that software for? Like if you have an extreme lack of talent and you desperately want to make, like maybe, but out of every generation of people born on planet Earth, like one person out of every generation will be psychotic enough to even try that. So all we got to do, government, get on it, motherfuckers, and mandate a small watermark, digital watermark, to be placed in every single piece of AI generated content. It doesn't matter if it's an image, video, text, sex robot, doesn't matter, My friend Daniel idolizes you. He prays to you every day like you are our God. Okay, calm down, Steven. Number one. Number two, is this the same Daniel who I ran into this morning? There's a guy named Daniel, and I was kind of wandering around Miramar aimlessly, as every insane person does. And I ran into this guy. He was wearing like a Nike sport jacket, even though I guarantee you he probably did not exercise that morning. So it was probably just as part of his normal outfit, which also I can determine he also doesn't exercise on a daily basis, if ever at all. I just love the people who just wear exercise outfits without actually exercising. You guys are weird, you know that? But this guy, I digress. If that's actually you, Daniel, sorry, awkward. Don't worry, nothing against you. Your clothes don't define you unless they do. But Daniel here was talking about being in debate, and I was just talking about why I don't like American fiction, which is what I want my next video to be if I motivate to do it, and if I don't spoil the whole crux of my video by just blabbing about it here. So I'm going to avoid doing that. But I told him, I explained my reason. I gave him a rough summary. And he was like, your reasoning is impeccable. And he was like some sort of foreign student. He was speaking with a German accent. And I bet he wanted for me to kind of, go on a podium and, flail around and yell about how I hated certain types of people and all that. I'm sure he wanted that out of me, but I would not give it. I simply would talk about why I don't like American fiction. simply because it's a bad movie and also because it contradicts its own message. Steak and Eggs, film in the 1890s. You need to help him. Oh, like you're saying, okay, you need to help him. Steak and eggs. I'm gonna ignore the steak and eggs thing because that doesn't mean anything. Tell Daniel you stay smart, no McDonald's. Or you said stay smart, no McDonald's. When did I say that? When the hell? All right, well, you retracted the message, but I saw it anyways. So, don't worry. You can't retract it from here unless you hit me in the head really hard. So, say this. I said stay smart, no McDonald's. What does that mean? This had to be something from like 3 years ago, because anything from more than 3 years ago, people bring up quotes that they remembered me saying from like over 3 years ago, and I don't remember any of it. So, ChatGPT has limits. I couldn't get it to be bad. Lol. Yeah, you know, I think if you try to make it as retarded as possible, even ChatGPT won't let it. Which is why I always found Dragon dictation to be a lot more fun, right? And this was before Google Docs kind of caught up. And every time you dictate something, it actually gets it right. My favorite part was when they didn't know how to get it right and they couldn't separate your syllables and your vowel sounds, and they would fuck it up nearly every time. Like it was actually difficult. Like it took more time to dictate it enough times with my voice to get it right than it was for me to type it out. Even as an 8-year-old with like 3 centimeter long fingers, I couldn't type shit. It took forever. But still, even that took longer than me actually just trying to use Dragon dictation because it was so bad. But it was boundary breaking technology. But I would try to dictate Fox and Socks, and because I could dictate it really fast, every single time it would fuck it up and it would be so funny. And I remember going like, dude, this robot messing up my speech, and I would like dictate stories I wrote and it would just mess it up and make all the characters sound stupid and make them do stupid things. I remember one specific one that I'm not going to get into. It was a boy in the striped pajamas alternative episode, but I just would dictate it into this Google document and it would fuck it up and it would just make the story even worse than before. And it was so fucking, and I was like, dude, no human comedian, no human being on earth is funnier than this robot fucking up my speech right here and screwing up like this document that I'm feeding into this game of like digital telephone. It's great. I like the spicy chicken sandwiches at KFC. I've never gone to KFC. Actually, the last time I went to KFC once, and that was out of obligation to my family when we lived in Dallas, Texas. One time, I remember it tasted really, really bad. I think maybe, I don't know, the worker there, the pubescent worker there sneezed on my bucket before we got it. But one thing I do know is that this Daniel's in South San Fran. Where's your Daniel? Oh, my Daniel is here. Yeah, I'm gonna assume he lives like 15 to 20 minutes away from me, around Miramar, which is like 35 minutes away. Whatever, you get my point. We're rounding down. Yeah, there's too many Daniels, honestly, but this Daniel's in South San Fran. Where the fuck? Where like who? What happened? Can Daniel kind of come on here? I don't know. Just grab your phone, type what actually happened when he met me, because I don't remember any of this shit. Did you end up watching Train Spotting, Brian? Yeah, I watched it. It was pretty good. It's fine. I don't think it was as good as everybody says it is. It's fine. I think the thing about Train Spotting is, especially with those kind of gritty 90s movies, I think it's trying to be more emotionally resonant, but it's doing this whole thing where, again, it's not intentionally opening itself up to a sequel, but it really just wants to leave things untied, right? It leaves with him. Spoiler, do I click off the video now? 3, 2, 1. He abandons the rest of the guys, right? And then he has a temper tantrum. That part's actually kind of funny. Very compromising. So when I say it's all uncompromising, that's not true. I like the part where the mustache guy kind of has a rough time. He gets a little upset. He gets a little fired up when all his money disappears from that deal they made. I just think that, and I've always kind of thrown the dice around into my own head. Like, is this an actual legitimate criticism? But I believe it is, for me, a valid criticism when you have a movie where nothing goes wrong. However, there's tons of unexplored potential. And you're saying, well, these are characters. You can do anything you want with them. But I'm saying when it comes to, emotional depth and how far can you go into that swimming pool, you don't need to kind of touch every molecule of water in the pool, but you got to at least get to the bottom to explore the depth, to at least reach the bottom and touch it. That's what we do as exercises in floaty swimming school. And I failed because I was a really bad swimmer, but the goal is to do it. All right. Don't be like Brienne as a swimmer. All right. Make sure to swim to the bottom of the pool every time. This is a really great analogy. But uh, I think that Train Spotting is fine, and what it actually does if you're looking at it in a vacuum is interesting. And I have no complaints about, the whole thing. It's this trend that people did, especially in the late 80s. I feel like Raising Arizona started it, where you have just all this voiceover, this like comedic voiceover to like crazy shit happening in dysfunctional households, right? That's a charmer. It works every time. I actually liked how Raising Arizona did it a little better because it didn't feel like it was just like randomly popping in for no reason and narrating as a crutch instead of just using visuals and actual elements of film to tell stories. I feel like if you're using voiceover as a crutch too much, it's like, okay, I could just read a book. But I mean, they're showing shit, they're showing shit while saying shit. So I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just a random general complaint about, voiceover. But I think if I were to have one nitpick about Train Spotting, if there's one, and again, the movie's great. I love the movie. But I feel like it's not as good as it could be because I recognize that there's a lot more that could be done with the characters, and you don't need to make a 4-hour movie to do that. I feel like in 2 hours and 4 minutes, Synecdoche, New York does so much with so little, and relatively, by the way. Again, it's over 2 hours long, but this movie, like the particular movie I'm talking about, Synecdoche, New York, is so substantial, and it's really not that insanely impossible to watch a movie that's relatively short and yet explores fully a character or a dynamic between characters. And Synecdoche, New York really goes all out, very large scale, both literally and figuratively. It's a movie that touches on everything, like literally everything, without saying everything specifically. Train Spotting does the opposite of that. It's like, I'm not seeing nearly enough, and they're not saying nearly enough. And I really wish that more happened, or I wish that even in the same length of movie, you could really fully explore the characters without really, elongating the movie out. And this doesn't mean that the characters need to confess all their wrongdoings or go to church or anything like that. But I just think that the movie has lots of potential for just interesting scenarios to get into, because there's a certain number of scenarios that characters get into that reveals a part of themselves. And I'm just like, that's great. You just didn't do it enough. You literally you gave me half a cake, and it tastes great, but it's still half a freaking cake. Anyways, whatever. Big nitpick. And just because there's half a cake there doesn't mean it's any less of a cake. It's a very good cake. Delicious. Um, this guy Daniel watches your videos every day. Told me you're going to be the future president. He said you're destined to lead our country to greatness. Oh, thank you. I'm going to be running in about 15 years. My running mate is going to be myself. I have multiple personality disorder, so Brian number 2 is going to be my running mate. He's had a bit of a nasty background in money laundering, but don't worry, I let him slide. I gave him an official pardon. Is that true? Could I legally run for president and my running mate's my own schizophrenic alter ego? I'm gonna look in some law books. Just Google it. I'll go to the local library. The law books. I can look up this particular rule. Interested in any foreign movies? You're in Myanmar, isn't that near Half Moon Bay? What the fuck is a Half Moon Bay? I've never heard of that ever. Well, for somebody who lives in San Francisco, you're unusually knowledgeable in San Diego. Okay, Mister Half Moon Bay. I don't know what that is, and I'll Google it later when I stop getting distracted, because it's 33 minutes and I haven't even gotten close to finishing this paper yet. Actually, wait, no, I'm full of shit. That's yesterday's book. Get that out of here. 3 more pieces, including the one in my mouth. This one, that one. When I did see it, I really liked it. Yeah, I get it. I think I was waiting for a plethora of things to happen, and none of them happened. And not just one specific thing. I'm like, okay, there's so many routes this movie could go down. And I'm like envisioning all the potential ones, or almost all of them. It's got to go down at least one. And it didn't really go any further. It felt like where the movie ended, it was like halfway through the movie. I feel like there should have been a part 2, which there was, but not really. You know what I mean. Perks are hella good. Hey, nice to meet you, actual Daniel. Now, you better spit out this goddamn information. Tell me where you met me and why I was talking about McDonald's. Give me specifics so I can, super sleuth my way to the bottom of this case. Because every single time I meet somebody, I just want to check in and make sure if I did say something incriminating, Just I want to know what it is, and of course, I don't take it back. I haven't matured since I've said the thing, and if anything, I've gotten worse. Obviously, we all know that, but I'm just curious. I'm morbidly curious. I just want to know what exactly happened. Where did you meet me? What was the place? And why the hell would I pilfer my YouTube channel to you? I must have been drunk. Guys got awfully silent once I actually asked the question. It's fine. I'll give you time. I got a little bit of time, but you're on a timer marked not by seconds, but by pieces. Time's ticking, motherfucker. I look at maps every day. I have a town near me called Miramar, like some small unincorporated community on the coast. Now that sounded like it came from ChatGPT. I look at maps every day. I see. So you have autism. That's what you're saying, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Congratulations. But yeah. So if you look at maps every single day, I used to do that when I was in 6th grade when I was a small child, and I would go on Google Earth, and I thought the CGI globe was so cool, and I could zoom in, and I really thought it was like holding a tiny little world in my hand. What I wanted was just a simulation of Earth where I could just like throw asteroids at and then zoom in, and it would be super accurate, and you could see people getting vaporized. That's what I wanted in 6th grade. Explain, Daniel. Thank you. I'm waiting patiently, as we all are. I want to see his explanation. I mean, I don't know why Steven can't explain himself, but actually, maybe never mind. I don't think Steven was there. When's my next show? It's on April 12th. I'm taking a break from gigging for the next 2 weeks, also because I need time to plan the next one, because Brianna Eckenrod, fantastic singer, as I've said before, will be doing a show that will be somewhat Marvin Gaye themed, gay with an E at the end. Don't worry, we don't associate. And Brianna is going to be 100% doing some new songs. We did a couple repeats before. It's going to be 0 repeats this time. We're going to make sure that everybody gets exposed to a new side of Brianna, the gay side. What's going on, Perks? ? Stop doing drugs and explain to me why you're here, and explain how you first met me. This is not me being, an evil policeman and interrogating you. This is me simply wanting to learn about who you are. I can get a better idea of who the man behind the screen is if you just tell me how you met me. And I can remember the face and the mannerisms and probably how introverted you were or something. Pajamas or free ball? No, these are not pajamas. This is my work shirt. I did not go to work today, but it was the first shirt I saw in my closet, so I grabbed it. He's here. Yeah, I see that he's here. He just needs to type out his actual response to my fucking question. Where show? Oh, Jazzy Wishbone. Let me type out the address, actually. Let me see if I can put it here. If anybody dares to come, where's my Maps app? Here it is. Time is still ticking, by the way. When you can't afford to travel, Google Earth is like free travel. I understand that, actually. I mean, for me, I feel like I don't need I don't feel the need to travel every single day. And when I decide to, see a different part of the world, I just play GeoGuessr. So, which is kind of the same thing. So, I don't know, maybe. So let's type out this address. 2, 3, 4, right? Consecutive numbers will be easy for you guys. S Coast Highway in Oceanside. There you go. I think that's all I need to type. Or fuck it. Give me a second. There it is. Area code. Oh shit, god damn it. It's my grandma's house. I'm just kidding. No, that's actually Jazzy Wishbone. Go to that exact address. I promise you will not go to a retirement home. It's not my grandma's house. That's actually like 3 hours from here. So good luck trying to make the road trip over there. And you can't because you don't know where she lives. But it's that address. That's actually it. So 234 South Coast Highway, Oceanside. Will Randy be there? Actually, yes. Randy is very attached to Brianna. Not like that. Not in a sexual way and not like a conjoined twins way, but in a, I really appreciate her. I really like her singing, and I really want to play with her. I'm the only keyboardist. It's only me, So that is what I'm doing on April 12th, Jazzy Wishbone, from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It's, by the way, the owner, Tim, it's his birthday, and he wanted for us to be the one band playing on his birthday. I'm enamored. Thank you, Tim. All right. I'm still sick. My brain's like really slow right now. So I'm sorry if it seemed like I was rambling about nothing half the time. I'm sure I was. I don't remember half the shit I said more than 2 seconds ago. So I'll just watch it back. I'm like, okay, did that make any sense? Of course not. Daniel never met you. What? Scroll up. Repeat. Repeat my fucking ass. You didn't. That's not a repeat. You never said that. Daniel's in South San Fran. He idolizes you. He praised you. Oh wait. Okay. So this is a guy in San Francisco who just so happened to find my channel on the internet. Never met me in real life. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, Daniel. Sorry about interrogating you. Apologies. No hard feelings. We're still buddies. You don't want candy? I got enough. I got enough Mike and Ike sours at home. You're not gonna meet EDP either. I know. I went to a convention. I really thought he would be there, but unfortunately not. It was just stupid Odd Ones Out guy, and he pretended to play the trumpet. There's a video of that, by the way. I filmed day 200 and something. Go way back. This is a pre-recorded, so go into the videos tab. And the thumbnail is me eating paper in front of Odd Ones Out. I was there because a friend of mine was a fan of his, and he was a little sick in the head at the time, like actually sick in the head, and so I wanted to make him feel better. So I had a bunch of YouTubers at VidCon say, "Get better, Dave." Dave was a Dave. Yeah, Dave is the guy in question. I exposed his identity, but yeah, Dave was a guy I knew a long time ago. He's a changed man. He changed in ways that I don't like, but back before he changed, kind of, or no, actually, I feel like that whole breakdown was his process of changing. But he was sick in the head temporarily, I think, and he felt really bad, and I wanted to make him feel better. And so I wanted to convince a bunch of YouTubers to just say into a camera, "Get better, Dave," right? But my way of going about it is I lied to all of them and said that, Dave was a trumpet player, which is true. Now here comes the falsehoods. Trumpet player who's like 2 years old with lymph node related cancer, something like that. Like a small toddler prodigy with just testicular cancer dying in a hospital bed at Sharp Reese Steely or something like that. And I painted that bleak picture, and oh, you best believe all of them obliged, especially the Odd Ones Out. They thought they were doing it for a charitable cause. And yes, I am a scumbag. However, I didn't do it for my benefit, so I only take half the blame for that. Dave reaped the rewards. I was being selfless in the wrong way, you could say, but I'll respectfully disagree with you there. I made them feel better. I made them feel like empaths because they thought they were helping a small toddler with cancer, but they weren't. Oh no, I didn't say that he had cancer. I said that Dave was a 1-year-old prodigy trumpet player with chromosomal disorder. That's even worse, Jesus. So yeah, that's what I said to them. So if for some reason the Odd Ones Out or one of his, I guess, lawyers uncovers this video, sorry, but I had to do it, man. I had to take a bullet so Dave could not give himself a bullet. Met Odd Ones Out. He was kind of weird. I thought he was just a nice gentleman. He seemed like just a funny guy, just a guy with a good sense of humor. Unusually attractive for one of those animation YouTubers. Whenever I see an animation YouTuber, I'm like, okay, you're clearly putting this pretty face on here because, and then I see him in real life and they have like 5 chins. Like, okay, I understand that now. But he could easily have picked any career in entertainment. He could nail it, Not to be a bootlicker or nothing, but I'll lick this boot with glee. I'm telling you, that guy is a talented gentleman. It's a shame that his Netflix show sucked ass, but like, he'll figure himself out. Daniel says, WTF. I know. I actually go to VidCon. How about that? Excuse me. The craziest thing before I sign off that happened, Jesus, excuse me, is at VidCon, I was coming as just a person going to YouTubers who I and Dave liked, for my own selfish purposes and for the Dave benefiting purposes. But believe it or not, there were 2 people who recognized me, and I cannot believe this. Again, scroll down right now, look at my sub count, and then scroll back up and listen to what I'm saying. It makes sense that nobody should recognize me at VidCon, all right? I am not even at 1,000 on any platform except for Instagram yet, which I wasn't even there. At the time, 2 years ago, I was at like maybe at best like 500 followers on Instagram. And I'm speaking on these numbers and these magnitudes because feasibly, there should be no fucking way anybody should recognize me. However, apparently, some unnamed famous TikToker who I have no idea who it is, I should have asked the guy that. And the guy said he saw that like a year ago, 2 years ago when I talked to him about it. So he couldn't even remember the name of whatever TikTok he saw. It was just a bunch of algorithm recommendations. But some TikTok account screenshotted day 101 of eating a sheet of paper a day from a long, 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 long time ago. And he saw it on TikTok, and apparently millions of other people saw it. And nobody let me know about it for years. So, you know, I decided to, tell this story because I think it's really interesting that somebody, not just somebody, two people. One person was this fat guy and he had glasses. He had like, Walter White season 5 glasses, like the square ones that made him look like an IT worker. And this guy was like, "Wait, you're the guy who eats paper." And I'm like, "What? What the fuck are you talking about?" And the guy came up to me and he was like, and this is a long time ago. This is like when I was like maybe on day 150 or something like that. This was not that far into the series. And the guy was like, "Dude, I saw a TikTok and it reposted you eating paper and like millions of people saw it." I'm like, "Nobody told me about this." And nothing in whatever TikTok video this was gave a link back to my channel because I still have like close to no subs. So obviously, I'm not going to be too sour about someone stealing my content, but I'm just glad it happened, I'm happy that it happened in the first place, but it's really strange that nobody will even bother to look it up on YouTube themselves. Or maybe they did and I didn't notice and it didn't account for, whatever sub growth I saw at that time. But like, I'll make you soup, tuck you in, and kiss you goodnight. What kind of soup do I like? I'm more of a tomato bisque kind of guy. That and saltine crackers. I know it's a pretty basic idea of a soup, but it's my personal favorite. Oh shit! With bread, get like freshly baked bread with it and a saltine cracker. Get some like basil, right? Basics, salt, pepper, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, just a little bit, not too much. And French onion soup. French onion soup is so good. And I this is the only context ever in cuisine where I will just eat an onion and be okay with it because it's baked and it's marinated in this delicious broth. It's insane. And it has melted cheese on top. And in talking about this, I'm realizing that I have not eaten dinner. I have to solve that. I'm going to eat dinner after I'm done doing this. This is my pre-course. But what was I saying? There was a second kid, this black kid who's like 13 or something, and he saw my condom review a long time ago. That was like what? At this point, it had to be 5 years ago. He saw my condom review, which is one of my most overrated videos ever. If you go on this exact channel, sort by most popular, there it is. A video I made when I was like 16, a long time ago, and it's it got age restricted, so the view count kind of froze, but it's stuck at like 40 something thousand, which is for YouTube from like a no sub channel like this, it's pretty damn good. And a random kid, and this kid didn't even live near me. He lived like in Louisiana or some shit like that. He randomly recognized me from the condom review. So that was very heartwarming. That I came there not expecting anything but just bugging YouTubers and YouTubers telling me to bug off. But I got hounded by exactly 2 people. And, that's not me talking about just how special I am. It's me talking about how special the internet is because I don't believe there's anything special enough about me to constitute something like that. And yet, it still happened at VidCon for somebody like me twice. That's how wonderful the internet is. And that's why it doesn't matter who the fuck you are. If you put yourself out on the internet enough, not about quality, simply about quantity, people will listen and you will reap the rewards. On my way in 7 minutes. I'm excited. Thanks for delivering my dinner. Thought I'd have to microwave a pizza, but not this time. Thanks, Job. Thank you all for watching. I wanted to say, if you want to hear a thesis that's somewhat similar to what I just said, then all you got to do is go to the main channel and skip to the end of ContentCon 2023, which is my new video. It's out right now. Or if you want to skip that, you want to skip the skipping, go right back and do a 180 and watch the video from the beginning, because I actually don't want for people to skip to the end, because if they just get the heartfelt message, then it destroys the entire point. And I actually like the first half of the video better. So watch that video in its entirety. Support the smaller channels who need help, like mine, especially the main one. Smaller than this one, so, you know, I'm not a liar. I found you from a viral meme. What the fuck are you what are you talking about? I'm surprised your channel didn't grow from the memes I've seen you've been because I've seen 2. What are you Fire and Lightning? Let's investigate. Where'd you see this? Send me some screenshots. I'm so curious. Who are these people who keep seeing my stuff and and keep nabbing screenshots? I'm not constructing an unsung hero narrative here, but I am simply curious on who these famous people are who are stalking me because nobody told me about any of this until you did. Instagram was a couple years ago. Jesus Christ. Like if I look up paper eating retard on Instagram, will the buzzwords fit together and I'll get just a random picture of me with some impact font on top? Paper eating retard. First thing, it's a picture of popcorn. That's not it. Come on, guys. Well, I don't think we'll ever find it. Instagram's an impossible place to search up and find anything. So, you know. Feel better. Oh, thanks. I know. My throat won't be sore in, I don't know, 5 months. It goes away slowly. It's fine. I'll take some lozenges. But that's heartwarming. Turns out this whole phenomenon on the internet is way more widespread than I thought. But my point was that just 2 people at VidCon, like in 2022, 2 years ago, recognized me. Complete strangers. And these people came from like the opposite side of the continent, and yet they still recognize me from my very relatively obscure stuff. And apparently some people are just taking it and they're, you know, spreading it around. And after this paper series is over, be it I just end it randomly, or I decide, you know, that the health effects are too much, or I make it to day 1000 by some Christmas miracle, some sort of biological freak accident causes for me to accidentally be endowed with a stomach lining of steel, and I'm able to successfully eat 1000 sheets and get there without too many respiratory issues or sudden death. Yet I'll totally go back to reviewing, and there are a lot more condoms out there than there were during the pandemic, so I'll totally get on that immediately. Become Paperboy. Right. That was your bit when I first saw you in my chat. Thanks. I'm exactly 2% paper right now. Yeah, my blood's having some trouble absorbing oxygen, so your joke has become reality, and it is super funny now because I'm slowly dying. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. That'll be day 746. I'll see you when I see you. No disclosed time. Could be a pre-recorded. Don't cry on my comment section because it's a pre-recorded. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. Until next time, this is goodbye. Fire and Lightning, Stephen Krawl, David Killeron, Job, Caden, all these other fucking guys, Ian, McBurgerness. I'll slowly get to the bottom of exactly how you guys discovered me, and I'll get you guys to discover and help me discover at the same time the specificities of whatever random anonymous meme that was so popular and viral, supposedly, that got you to discover me. So we'll get to the bottom of it. This is only chapter 1 of Mindhunter, season 1. I have not watched Mindhunter, but I know it has detectives, and I am a detective right now. So I'll see you when the case gets reopened tomorrow, if I remember. Hopefully I'll remember. So defend our city. Working on it. Making sure there are minimal paper cut injuries because I'm eating the paper before the criminals can get their hands on it. All right, goodbye. I've been here long enough. Goodbye. The end. Fucking...